Alright guys, getting ready to go live. We're just about ready, rather. What's up guys? Let's go ahead and raise that up just a bit. I have my backdrop up and I'm getting used to different stuff, so actually feel well enough today to stream. Go ahead and raise this up a little bit higher. There we go. Alright, let's go ahead and adjust that just a bit. Welcome guys, we are doing some spring controller cleaning, and today's victim is going to be a Interact SuperPad, where it actually had the Super Famicom colored buttons on it. It's got one of the best button response, and it's got the thicker silicone button pads underneath it, so it lasts a lot longer. It's more durable than the regular SNES controller. So yeah, let's get to it. Phone. All right. There we go. Very condensed space here, guys, so let me see about getting this angled and such. Here we go. So the main thing on this controller that you have to be concerned with is the leads on the sides of the L and R buttons. There's a thin piece of double-sided electrolysis tape that you cannot get torn, otherwise those buttons do not respond. And yep, we're going to go ahead and get to it here, and we'll use the PZ1 on the head so that you can see. It's just very, very slightly blunted on the top, and that'll keep from stripping out the holes in the screw heads. Overall, the condition on the label and everything is in really good condition. Just depends on how the pads are. I know that the buttons are going to be gunked up, need to be wiped down and conditioned and everything, but As long as the inside screws are intact and not stripped out, you could have a recoverable controller, because that means I can actually get to being able to clean the inside of it. That's my keyboard in the corner there. I've got it up on top of the Xbox One, so leaving the vent still open because the Xbox One S does not like, even when it's off, to have that vent covered up. Even though I've got a filter on it, still, it's the state of fact of matter. Also, guys, let me know what you think of the layout. If you like the choice of background music and such. Got one more here. Alright, so we have our 6 screws right here. We're just going to put those, deposit those inside the lid of our screwdriver. They're all the same size, so nothing to worry about. And it looks like we've got some good fortune and none of these screws have been tampered with. But as you can see what I was talking about right here, see the little pieces of tape there that's on the underside? If those are messed up, then that kind of negates the function of the L and R buttons. But we'll go ahead and get these removed. And give me one moment, guys, and I'll be right back, and you can check out how my away music is on the Be Right Back screen. Alright, guys, I'm back. Had to fill up my water. Alright. We got water. We got paper towels. And they're low dust paper towels. So the point is not to try and take everything up with paper fragments. Give me one bit, guys. My phone decided to shut off. Alright, so we got this right here. Let's go ahead and pull out our shoulder button silicone pads. And you can see just by removing the cover, we actually had some gunk come off of there. So we're going to take care of that here in just a bit. Now this is my preference, which is the mint 50% isopropyl alcohol for Super Nintendo controllers, because they had the thinner silicone and you don't want to dry it out. But on the Sega controllers, I prefer the 70% isopropyl alcohol. That way you get a little bit more deep clean, and the pads on those are stickier on the underside of the buttons, silicones, so those pads are stickier on the Sega Genesis, and it takes a little bit higher percentage of isopropyl to be able to pull off the extra adhesive. Alright, so we've got these two off of here. Let's go ahead and get those cleaned up. And I just take a rectangle, which is about a third, and then we'll fold that in half, and we'll just turn it real quick. Now, as you can see on the way these are made, you can actually get sediment deposit built up inside of there. So you just want to wedge it, and then just use your finger and wiggle it back and forth in there. And that'll take care of any of the sediment that builds up on the side of the posts for the input holds and stuff. And the reason I like using rubbing alcohol first on everything is to give it a good sterilization, and then we'll be using our mixture of our conditioning oils and cleaning oil to be able to pull off the impurities. Let's see if we can get in here on this one without too much effort. And the last thing we'll do is actually clean the cable and then recondition it. Alright, so we've just about got that one cleaned off. Sorry about that, guys. Didn't mean to jar your world. Alright, so see how these have really tall posts on them? The Super Nintendo was the only controller that did this all the way up until the GameCube controller. And the Z trigger on the back of the GameCube controller was also a very high post. So just like before, we pinch underneath and we just pull around in a circle. We get the outside, And then we tackle the inside of the pad. That one's clean. And drop one. I'm going to move the microphone slightly up in a way so I don't keep on hitting it with my head. There we go. And let's drop it again. Because once just did it, never enough. Alright. It's all clean. Let's go ahead and adjust the focus here. There we go. So let's go ahead and clean the outside shell before we go any further on this one. First around the edges, and then we'll get around the inside tapered area where the controller connects together front to back. Alright, so where the sticker on here for the serial number is torn, I'm going to take it from the corner that's not and just apply pressure. And that'll take some of the fading off of there. Without actually removing any more of the sticker's original integrity. Alright, so now we'll get around the inside edges, and we just want to take our paper towel, cleaning solution area, fold it in half, and then just take a fingernail and slide it around the edge. And that cleans it. Look at all that came off of the inside of there. Now what this also does is it'll mean that the controller will have a little bit better responsiveness when you put it back together, so you don't have to screw it down as tightly. Because if you over torque your screws in, then you can cause the controller to stop working. And there we've got that clean. We'll set that right there. And we'll go ahead and switch out to another rectangle here. Same process, just a quick tap with it. And it spreads pretty well, so we don't really have to worry about anything of that sort. Alright, you want to be really careful with these small wires here, because if these are damaged on these solder points, the controller won't work. So I'm going to go between them to unscrew it, but I'm going to change the head first to a more tacked head. So we're going from the PZ1 to the PH1. And as you can see, it's a lot smaller tip on it as comparison. This will give us a little bit of spacing torque that we won't strip out the holes. And where we only have 2 sets of screws in this controller, the outside shell and then the inside PCB, I'm just going to set all the outside ones in one corner of the lid, and I'll put the PCB ones in the other corner on the outside of the lid. There we go. Alright, and it's always wise to take a picture of the order so you know the colors of the buttons. So what I like to do is just snap a screenshot. We'll turn it around so that it's the way that I can see it. Alright, so that way we know that B is yellow, and A is red, and Y is green, and X is blue. And now we can just unwiggle this very gently, and we have our PCB come straight out. Now we have our button pads in here. So there's our start and our D-pad. Where this is an actual silicone button pad, we're going to take care of it first. And this is actually in really good condition. It's just very dirty. Someone who liked to use food around their controllers definitely owned this, because I can see a lot of food sediment So we'll take care of that. But I definitely could not be this assertive with the official SNES button pads because they're so thin they can tear just by pulling them out. Now, this has got a little bit more thickness to it, as you can see. Now we'll get our underside with the actual pads. All clean. And we definitely had some sediment inside the D-pad on the underside. Clean the underside of it first. Now we'll clean the top side, the edges. Let's just fling it at the camera, why not? And we'll get around our actual inserts that go through the controller shell. And that's all clean. Alright, we got our X button. The actual button cap. We got a very, very filthy Y button. See guys, that's why you don't want to use food around your controllers. All that stuff can short out the controller. That's all cleaned up now. Let's just drop it. So we'll put that right there. We'll put that right there. Grab our B button. Top of the cap. Sides of the cap. Inside. A button is always the one on the Nintendo controllers. No, always. Hey, Ann Dawson, how's it going? You like the new layout? I kind of made some changes and stuff because kind of on my next phase of dealing with the blood clots to where I have to release control, and it's all in God's hands. So, hope you've been well, man. Hopefully, I'll have some more Bleach games up soon. Still waiting on a couple to come in from Japan, and also waiting on the next version of the pre-release for the Bleach MMO from K-Labs. I think it's Bleach Realms is what it's called. Alright, we got that. So let's go ahead and clean this up now. We'll get the top of it first. Yeah, I'm still playing the mobile games. I just had some new stuff come through that I can be able to do a little bit more things with. So I'm trying out different things, and this is like begun viral for me, which is controller clean, to where people have sent me a bunch of controllers to clean. So after I did my arcade stick cleaning and upgrading, people seem to like the controller streams, so I'm just trying to appease the crowd, and then after this I'll be playing some more of my 7,000th Steam purchased game, The Vagrant, which I played last night. If you didn't get to catch any of it, it should be up in VOD. Hope you've been well, man. It's been a hot minute since I've gotten to do any mobile streaming, cause my tablet kind of only has 2 gigs of RAM, and that limits a lot. And I've been going between Mimu and Nox, and I've had some issues with the latest version of both of them. So I'm waiting on the devs to get back to me to see what's going on with that, because I'm using a Ryzen processor now and the X370 platform, and it seems to be, when it runs great, but it has some issues of compatibility that it doesn't want to work very well. Alright, so we got just a little bit on the edge in there of the X cavity, which was very, very filthy. Let's see. Y cavity is good. A cavity is good. B cavity is filthy. Alright. But yeah, I'm waiting on, there's 2 Bleach Realms games. There's one Bleach Realms Death Attacks, which is like a fancier, prettier version of the Bleach game, the side-scrolling Bleach game that I was playing before. But it's only currently out in China, and I don't have that much of an understanding of the translations for it to know what it wants me to enter in for the CAPTCHA to get it to authorize. I've got a key from the devs, but the app wants to update, and I can't get it to update because of the CAPTCHA code. But the MMO, if you didn't get to catch any of that stream, I did till level 42 or 43, I think, on the 3D Bleach MMO from the K-Labs developer. And I played as far as I could get, where the game was just glitching out on me in the area that it had bugged quests on it. So I'm waiting a few updates on it before it... No, there was actually another one that came out from a different studio that's in like better modeling. That's called Bleach Realms Death Awakening, or not Death Awakening, Death Attacks. Death Awakening is the Chinese version of the Spiritual Awakening or Soul Awakening that we were playing before. I just my fundage has changed to where I don't have access to be able to do the premium account stuff anymore, because I'm currently found out I have a blood disease called TTP, and anytime I get a purple bruise, it's basically another blood clot. So I'm already dealing with 10 blood clots right now. So tried filing for disability, and it's not heard anything back on that yet. But I have a QQ login, and I also have a 9-game login. 9-game login is the one that lets me get into the Bleach 3D MMO. but if I go directly to the website for the Bleach Realms Death Attacks, it'll let me in that way. But I can't update the app because it needs the CAPTCHA, which it has to choose the 3 character words in relation in the order that they are for doing the CAPTCHA to update the app. So it makes it a little bit difficult and frustrating. Any other games you've been playing? Also, I will be playing the Bleach Soul Resurrection PS3 game on stream soon as well. I'm just trying to knock out some things before I get normalized in the new scheduling and stuff, because right now it's only I can stream whenever I feel well enough that I can sit up and not have leg pain strike me so bad that I can't hardly move or breathe. I think that is almost clean. See, I've got QQ on my tablet, but some of the games on my tablet won't load because of the memory requirements, or it can't work on 8.01 or 7.01. It has to be like 5.0 or less. So, plus I'm trying to set up in Nemu what I can find for the best, and Nox as well, the best device recognition to get best compatibility for downloading some of these apps, because I have a lot of them on my account, but it says it can't be played on this device or whatever. Whenever I go, it's grayed out on the Google Play Store. Like, I've also got some Power Rangers games that I can't even access because it says the device is incompatible. It's wanting, like, some Brazil device or something, or a Korean device. I'm waiting to see if possibly whenever the OnePlus 6 pops up, it'll be compatible with it. All right, that looks pretty clean, guys. Pretty clean indeed. There's one little speck. Take care of that off of the D-pad section. All right. So do you like the new layout? You're the first person I've gotten any like chat from since I changed things around, so I appreciate any feedback you wish to offer. Here's the other reason why this is so much better than the Super Nintendo regular authorized license controller, is because it has pad holes that it goes through and will actually hold better to the PCB. Alright, get the pad cleaned off. Mainly it's just dusty, so that's pretty good. Seems like the way that these are built, it doesn't get sediment underneath the button caps as much. It's only on that one button cap right there. Which that was the B button, which was filthy. Are you still playing Brave Souls? I'm guessing. All right. So, since we've got this out now, we're going to go ahead and get some of our wax cleaning oil mixture, and we're just going to brush around the edges and into the holes. And always away from the center towards the edges. All right. Go ahead and get some more. And this is just an old toothbrush. This is after it's been served its use and everything. I'll just put it through that. That way it gets recycled. I'm a vegan. I try and conserve the earth and everything, and it's recyclable even. It's made from recycled yogurt cups. The holes really well so the buttons don't stick. Right. Now I found that the best combination is this and then cleaning with the rubbing alcohol, because it just seems to be smoother after you're done. It feels more clean, and it stays cleaner longer. This is not my controller. This is one I just picked up, and I'm cleaning it up just to be able to resell at the flea market. So if I don't resell it at the flea market, then I am giving it to my friend Ice, because he's wanted a Famicom, Super Famicom button design colored Super Nintendo controller. And I got him one, but I tested it and it worked great. But the time that he tried to test it, it didn't work for him. So I know that some of the systems didn't have the same wiring configuration. I missed some. Go ahead and clean that out. It's on the inside of the start button right there, you can see. So I'm going to just push that in. There we go. Start it, push it in. Go ahead and use one of these screws to break it loose. That doesn't work, so we'll use our needle. And this is not a sharp needle. This is a needle that you use to inflate something. So it has to be blunted for me to use it. And it's rounded on the edge so it doesn't scratch. There we go. Now I can clean the sediment that's under there. Are there any games you're excited about right now in Dawson? Yeah, sorry also that the changes that Twitch has made and stuff, I can't upload to YouTube publicly until after 60 days that it's been streamed on Twitch. So, rip guys. I feel at that point it's almost irrelevant for most things that are streamed to be added to YouTube. I usually spend around 2 hours or so cleaning controllers. Speaking of, I'm going to go ahead and get my super duper awesome toolkit. Give me just a bit, guys. Bam! I fix it. There we go. So what we can do with this now is take one of our edging tools here and just take it around the edge in there. And get the rest that was stuck in there all clean. Now we'll get the impurities. Alright. Get what's inside that buttonhole there. Sit that over there just to keep it out of the way. There we go. Hopefully the audio sounds okay. That start button just was nasty. Yeah, you can see down in there. ahead and give it another swig of alcohol. Get this drying out. Now I'm just going to use the slight tug to round out the edges to clean it on the inside. Now it's all clean. Alright. So we've got that cleaned. Next, we'll take this off. We'll give a light cleaning over those and our shoulder inputs. All right. Go ahead. Replace these. And these are pretty concise on how you have to get these in these holes, that it lines up so that your buttons will work. Once you get one in though, they go in pretty straightforward. Alright, got that one in. Let's keep our pad there for sensitivity. Here is our D-pad silicone button pads. See how much thicker that is compared to regular SNES controller? Which I wish I had one here to show you. I could open up and clean, but I don't. That would still be in storage. Along with my Super Nintendo. See, I like this because the actual button pads are the exact same size as all of the inputs here that it reads from. So that makes this a lot more precise on how it goes through. let's see. That'll go like that. So we'll go ahead and we'll get this part put back together. You gotta make sure that you get that little hole right there gone through, otherwise your controller's start buttons won't work. Where I kept them in the same order that I removed them in. Just to make sure, I'll consult my picture. Alright. B, A. And green, blue. Just like that. So let's get that in. Alright. That goes like that. Just set the screws in here so that we can have this be able to go in a lot easier. just go until it's taut. Because, like I said, we're not trying to strip this out. And we'll get our last PCB screw in here. And get that sorted back the way it goes. There we go. To get right back between the wires. Just like that. We have our shoulder button pads. Line those up right over top, just like that. What is going on? So much noise from our phone. Alright, so all that we have left to do is recap these. We have our holes to line up right here. So first thing we do is we slide in this side and then we push over and line that up. Because this right here is the area that our point of our silicone button pad is going to hit. So we slide it in, line it up, and post it. Change out our screwdriver head back to the PZ01. Drop our screws in. Clean off the heads of the screws, the extra plastic that's on there. Hold in the center. And we'll get them started. One center, one outside edge. And then one center. One center. One outside edge. One center. And then we'll just tighten them down until it starts to pull. And as you can see, the gap around the controller is going to tighten as well. So we want to try and keep it even, top and bottom, as we're tightening. I usually try and tighten first the ones that are around the shoulder buttons. That way the shoulder buttons stay exactly on the pads where they need to. And just give them the last torquing that they need to where it's just to where it goes tight and stops turning. Alright, so before we do anything else, let's go ahead and clean the cable. And we will take a fresh towel piece for this. And this is after it had already been cleaned by the person that took it in at the shop flea market. So it was still that dirty. So we're going to alcohol swab it first, and then we'll use our cleaning oil on the brush to clean that up. So see this? This is what smoker dust looks like in combination with just touching it. So this will guard it against future smoke damage or discoloration. And it's also going to make the cable less likely to kink and help condition it as well, which the final coconut oil swabbing will help with that as well. Though if your pets have pets around your controllers and stuff and they like the smell or taste of coconut oil, be forewarned. They will be in for a rude awakening when they taste what's on here. It will make them have bathroom issues of too much bathroom usage. Alright, so we'll fold this one on the inside, fold it again. Now we'll clean off the soap oil. And let's get the head of the controller for the plug-in input. Now, just some coconut oil. And this gives it that reconditioned, like new feeling. And also helps it keep from corroding as well as offer an antimicrobial solution, because coconut oil in its raw format, unrefined, is an antibacterial. Now, wipe off the excess and we'll do the face and the body of the controller. Now also guard your labels against further fading and discoloration as well, so that helps out in the long run. I'll just wipe off the excess, bundle the cable back up, and it's good to go. try and keep it in the figure 8 situation, to where it takes the least amount of stress on the controller cable itself. And there we go. Except for the label, you can't really tell that it's a controller that's even been used. Alright guys. Now, give me just one moment and I'll get things cleaned up here. And we will get up the stream for some more of the Vagrant. Stay tuned, I'll be right back.